to do is I'm going to attempt to make a game in about 10 minutes. I do a game, very simple one. Blocks come down in waves, and we dodge them. There's going to be 6 blocks across. You're just going to move left and right. We're going to do it in like a mobile aspect ratio, roughly. So here we go. We call it surviving waves. So let's go. So first thing we need to do is change the room width. So because we're doing 6 across, 6 by 64 is 3, 8, 4. So there we go. Got that nice and just go across. That's about a mobile phone's size. So what we need is a few objects. So we're going to have a player who's going to be down here. All these waves are going to come from the top. We're going to have something at the side to stop the out of the bounds, and we're going to have a level controller. So I'm just going to quickly create those. So what we'll learn in Game Maker is if you're doing objects, start with an O, just so you know what it is. So if you create a sprite called player, you won't get a conflict issue. So we've got a player, a wave, a controller, and a bounds. What we'll need to do is create some sprites for these. So they're automatically 16 by 16. Let's just go through and create those. I mean, we don't have to spend time renaming them now. Oh, made a mistake there. Let's look. Right. Sound. So now if we go to the sprites, or wherever the hell they're at. Sorry. I thought they might. They used to automatically go in there, but since they changed them, so yeah, this player, this wave. Oh, we don't need one for controller, so they may. Let's delete that. And we'll go O bounds. O bounds we'll do first because it's nice and easy. Oh, not O bounds, sorry, S bounds. So what happens when you're Russian? I apologise if I sound a bit bummed up. I think I'm coming down with a cold, so we'll create a nice and bright red. It's quite bright on screen. I'll do I guess we'll do a dot. It's about right. Let's just go commercial colours. Go green, some sort. Let's do that. So try and get that. So my nightmares get boom down. So there we go. It's about centre. I've got bounds in none. Right, bounds. And we'll go put waves. Something simple. We'll select the line tool. Wait, well, I'll fix this. We'll keep this as white. Bring it down the middle. I've got a wave. So if we just show them in, love your little fella down low, then love these across the search. And what you'll do is you'll go through there, and what you do is you go left and right to get through them. So first, let's sort bounds out. We don't need any coding for bounds, so we'll go boom. We'll copy and paste that. Put that there. Track controller on there. We'll just stick it there. You won't see that question mark when it goes to play. So, and then these, what we'll do is we'll get them to generate in a pattern. So what I'm going to do now is we'll keep player on there. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. What we'll have is we'll have them generate up here and feed down. So let's crack it with play on it. So we'll do like some standard movement stuff. That's again ever. So what we're going to need is a horizontal speed, which will HSP, basically horizontal speed, custom variable. So we set it to 0. The reason we set it to 0 is because we'll change it in the step. And if we go HSP value, this is the number that we'll play around with. So 64. It'll be quite quick. So we'll go with 8. So we've got those two in there. Right, let's create a step for this. So the step is what runs each processing frame. So it'll be quite simple stuff. If you've done any tutorials, you will have done stuff like this, but it's movement. So what we need is key right, and let's say a keyboard check. We'll go VK right, and we need a key left. Obviously, if we were fleshing this out into a full game in this, we would do a little bit more. So VK left. I think I'm probably going to run over on this because I'm trying to explain it at the same time. So in this, what we'll do is we'll do HP equals, and then what we'll do is we'll do keyboard right, take away keyboard left, and this will give you a 1, 0, or a -1. And then if we multiply that by the HS value, that means it'll be a -8 or +8, depending on which direction you're going. So if you're going left, it's going to be minus. If you're going right, it's going to be positive. So what we need is some collision stuff. So I've seen this. I can't remember where I've seen it. I think it might have been one of Sean Spaulding's videos. But we've got this 1 pixel sign. I just use this for collision to stop you running into everything. So you've got that temporary variable there. So now we'll do an if statement. And then we'll use place meeting. And we'll check it with the O bounds. It stops us going off the page. Kill the brackets. And then here what we'll do is we'll do a while loop. And we'll do a put in the exclamation mark before it. Makes it a not instead of a is. So you should put that, it'd be like if it isn't meeting the place. So X is there equals Y no bounds. So while it's not meeting it, we will do result using a temporary variable. close this, and we will set this to 0, so this will stop it from moving if it's meeting it. And then below that we've got X. That's X. X is your horizontal movement. So obviously minus X value moves to the left, positive X value moves to your right. So then we'll get that to plus the HSP value. So when that's saying 8, that'll be, so every frame it's registering one or the other. I made a mistake here. What if I... Oh, I missed there we go. So that's the player movement. I'm certain it'll work. So what we've got is we've got a wave. So on these waves, where's it? Not sure why it's not coming up with the oh, right, there it is. All we need on this, nice simple step. So every step, we're going to use a value, we use a global value of global game speed. So all we're going to do with this is y equals y plus global game speed. Game speed. No, we'll call it level speed. I'm going to use game speed for something else. I always use the similar method just because when I'm reading from the code, it makes sense to me, which is always important, especially when you're trying to do things quickly. So now in the controller, this is where the fun bits happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to create something. So I'm going to do it so it creates the waves randomly. Well, it's not completely randomly. It'll be in patterns. And I'm just going to get it to loop, and every time it hits that value, it'll generate another one. So that's what we're using the level speed and game speed for. So we've got level speed. I'm going to set that as 3, so that'll be how quickly it generates. Game speed, well, the movement wasn't that. Yeah. I might have done this the other way around, to be honest. I think spawn time set it to 6. We won't set them all as global. I'll just set some as global for different reasons. And then we'll call something pattern. We'll call it pattern 0. This will be what we use for the random generator. So now we've got those created. Let's create a step. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a timer running. So I've called it game speed, haven't I? That's because we're using game speed, game state. I'm going to use that as a if the game's active or if it's not. It's not the smartest way to do it, but it's a way to make a game quickly. Plus, we're only doing this for fun. You need to probably spend a couple of weeks on this to get something like that. So we'll go room speed. Room speed, I think since they moved to the new company, pretty sure it's set at 60. So we divide that by 360. It should make the timer slow enough for what we need. So now if we do another one, so we've got that timer, and remember we set the spawn time. So when it hits that But if it doesn't quite work, what we can do is we can say it's if it's greater than spawn time as well, just in case it goes over like point something. And it stops it just going on forever and not doing anything. So we'll create a ball for this. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a random generation pattern. So because it's 6 along, we want it so there's a gap in at least one every time. So we'll do it as 5. The reason we use 5 is because 0 counts as a number. So this iRandom will go either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically a 6 dice roll. So we'll set the timer back to 0. Now under here, what we're going to do is we're going to go if the pattern equals 0. The reason we're putting it inside here is so it only does it when this triggers, otherwise it'll just spawn it every time and it'll make the game unplayable. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create some as instance instance create layer. So I know what it sounds like there. You're creating a new layer. That's not what you're doing. So because we're doing it 6 across, so the first one will start at 0. So we'll go x 0. We'll set them all to 0 just so they do it at the top of the screen. If you wanted more time behind it, you could do it higher up. So you'd set it as a minus value for the y-axis. 0 is the top. And then anything above that would be a minus value. That's why we're doing it plus on the other wave. So now we need we've got a layer. What's that? My apologies. And the object is wave. Oh, sorry, people. Put myself under a little bit of pressure. So what we're going to do is something nice and simple. So we'll set this to 64. When you've been doing this a while, you get pretty good at counting. Counting in 64, so you'll be doing 64 times table. And don't teach you that at school. And 320. You do the leftmost side of the value, and then it's 64 across, so then that overlaps with the next one. So it creates a nice tight line. So what we're doing here, right, yeah, so we need to copy that. So we will copy this a few more times. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 6. So what we'll do now is we'll remove one. We'll do it in the same pattern, so we'll just remove the individual one. So remove that, remove that. You can have more elaborate patterns if you want, but this is entirely for speed. And it's taken me a lot longer than I thought it would have, to be honest. So I believe this should work. So let's give it a whirl. Open to play. So as you can see, works. Now we could put a score in there, so I'll just stop that. We're not going to, but we do want to put a collision on there for the player. So what we'll do is do something similar. We'll do like that place meeting, but we won't do as much inside. Place meeting. Let's got X, Y. If we touch it, we're done for. So O wave. Then what we're doing here is global game state equals 0. So this will stop the timer going, it'll stop it going on for ever. So we need a instance destroy as well. Self. So you've got some function there, you've got self, other, EV, other, I'm not sure what that one is, I just think it's environmental. Right, so now if we do this, as soon as we hit that white thing, we'll disappear. See? 1, 2, there we go. Move too fast. Now you might want to play around with some bits of this. You might want to change the speed, which you would go in the air controller. And you just change these values, so you make the level speed faster, or you would change, or you make the spawn time shorter. So that's everything. Just quick save. Go with that, and I will post some more improvements on this. Thanks for that. Follow it if you enjoyed it.